Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Making sense of the Cowboys' plan for 2024 draft. As the NFL season is now down to the Super Bowl, the Dallas Cowboys are focused on the NFL draft in April. Look, I am no head coach or GM, but it is pretty clear to me what the plan should be for this team in the 2024 draft. In all likelihood, it probably won't go this way, but here are my thoughts on what they should do. The first round should be rock solid clear all day. After that though, it gets a little interesting. The Cowboys' biggest need in the draft is their offensive line. This team could very well lose Tyron Smith and Tyler Baiadas this offseason. Smith is a free agent, but even if they do re-sign him, he is 33 years old and has struggled to stay on the field. Zach Martin will soon be there after a few years, so going with youth on the line to add to Tyler Smith is the smart play with their 24th overall pick. My guess is they take Amarius Mims from Georgia or Jordan Morgan from Arizona. This is where it gets interesting for this team. They also need help in the secondary, linebacker, and running back. It also wouldn't hurt to add a young wide receiver for way less than what they are paying Michael Gallup to do nothing every week. Neither cornerback nor safety is a high-priority position, but another playmaker wouldn't hurt. If they don't resign Stephon Gilmore or Jordan Lewis, then we can have another conversation. I still don't like the way they play against teams with winning records, but we will see what happens. If I had control of this draft, I would take a running back or linebacker in the second round. I'm sorry. Teams that make any run in the playoffs always have some type of run game. The Cowboys were one-dimensional and became dependent on CeeDee Lamb. Tony Pollard is an unrestricted free agent. He is not a three-down back. If they re-sign him, they need to draft someone to pair with him. Let's be real, the Dallas linebackers stink. Ejaren Cooper from Texas A&M is an explosive linebacker with a huge upside. If they don't go that way, I would take Blake Corum from Michigan or Trey Benson from Florida State. Rounds 3 to 7 are pretty much the best player on the board. I would take a wide receiver in the third round. Cut Gallup and throw the young guy in there. It can't be any worse than what he was giving this team, being paid over $60 million. This will probably be way off, but this is just the way I would like to see things go. Get players in here that can help you win now. Jerry Jones has been doing this for nearly 30 years without results. Cowboys news: Dallas has a decision to make about Leighton Vander Esch's future. Even with linebacker being one of the Cowboys' most glaring roster needs, Leighton Vander Esch may not factor into any of the team's plans moving forward. It would be fairly surprising to see the Cowboys allow linebacker Leighton Vander Esch to finish the 2-year contract he signed last offseason. For one, Dallas needs to improve its linebacker core and a defense that has been vulnerable to the run over the past few seasons. Secondly, Vander Esch has struggled to stay healthy. He was limited to 5 games in 2023 by a neck injury. Vander Esch was productive when healthy. He logged 30 tackles and a defensive touchdown in his 5 appearances, but Dallas simply can't count on him to stay on the field. Given his history of neck injuries, Vander Esch may also have to consider stepping away from football. The nature of his potential injury here causes me to really think longer term and beyond what it means for next week or beyond what it means for next month, franchise owner Jerry Jones told 105.3 The Fan, hat tip ESPN's Todd Archer. Releasing Vander Esch would trigger a dead cap hit of $2.3 million, but also save $2.1 million in 2024 cap space. The Cowboys could surround CeeDee Lamb with some new playmakers out wide next season. I think we can all agree the Cowboys kept the wrong guy when they extended Michael Gallup and shipped Amari Cooper off to Cleveland. In 2 years with the Browns, Cooper has averaged 55 catches for 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. All better numbers than he had with Dallas. In those same 2 years, Gallup has a total of 842 yards on 73 catches and 6 touchdowns. We can't undo the trade, but we can cut out losses. Gallup has to be gone. Keep on cooking. In his first year in Dallas, Brandon Cooks hauled in 54 catches for 657 yards and 8 touchdowns. The Cowboys need to move heaven and earth to keep Cooks in Dallas next year. Both he and CeeDee Lamb were the most reliable receivers in 2023. Jalen Tolbert will be in his third year this fall, typically the year a wide receiver breaks out or fades away. Jalen Brooks showed flashes of future promise in his limited rookie season. Brooks caught all 6 passes thrown in his direction and 4 were for first downs. It's time for the younger receivers to step up in 2024. The Cowboys have had a close eye on Senior Bowl prospects for some time, with plenty of standouts to bolster their defense this season. The 2024 linebacker class needs someone to step up. Currently, a cluster of players is viewed as late day 2 to early day 3 prospects, with no one separating themselves from the pack. Cowboys could target rivals' former coach if Dan Quinn departs. Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is reportedly in the mix for both of the remaining NFL head coaching vacancies, and if he departs it would create a sizable void on Mike McCarthy's coaching staff. Multiple reports suggest that Quinn, who has been among the most coveted coaching candidates the past 2 hiring cycles, is among the favorites for both the Washington Commanders and Seattle Seahawks openings. According to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, former Washington head coach Ron Rivera could be in Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' crosshairs if Quinn winds up moving on. Here's an interesting one, Rappaport said on January 28. Ron Rivera has already interviewed for the Eagles' defensive coordinator job. I am told the Cowboys have some interest in potentially looking into Rivera if Dan Quinn leaves. So, you could have the former Commanders coach become the Cowboys' defensive coordinator. The Eagles wound up hiring Vic Fangio over Rivera, but he could make a fascinating replacement for Quinn with the Cowboys. Rivera, 62, was let go by the Commanders on January 8, after posting a 26-40-1 record in 4 seasons as Washington's head coach with just 1 postseason appearance over that span. During his head coaching career, Rivera has built a strong reputation as a culture driver and is well respected by his players, which could be exactly what the Cowboys are looking for if the well-liked Quinn is elsewhere in 2024. Quinn could potentially have options. While the door is always open for Quinn to return as Cowboys defensive coordinator, as he did in the middle of the hiring cycle last offseason, the Seahawks and Washington openings could prove too compelling for the 53-year-old to pass up. Quinn will have a second in-person interview in Washington on January 30, according to Rappaport. Washington, with new general manager Adam Peters in place, had the resources to orchestrate a dramatic and quick turnaround after finishing 4-13 in 2023. That's because this offseason, Washington boasts a league-high $83.5 million in cap space as well as the number 2 overall pick. The combination of a rising executive as general manager, abundant cap space, and premium draft capital could be an enticing destination for Quinn. The Dallas Cowboys have yet to advance even to the NFC Championship game during Dak Prescott's career, and could be on the cusp of making him one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in the league. And you fan, what do you think of the Dan Quinn situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.